Part 2, Chapter 3, The Month.
For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, saith the Lord, so shall your seed and your name remain. And from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord. Isaiah 66:22-23.
Besides ruling the night, the lesser luminary is also responsible for the month. This connection is evident in many languages. For instance, in Bulgarian, the word month, mesets, is synonymous with moon, luna, as beautifully captured in Botev's famous poem, Evening comes, the moon, the month, rises. Stars sprinkle the firmament. English, as part of the Germanic language family, also shares similar words for month and moon. This linguistic similarity extends to other languages as well. Afrikaans, maand, maan, Danish, måned, mån, Dutch, maand, maan, German, månad, mond, Creole, mont, moon, Luxembourgish, mount, Norwegian, måne, måne, Swedish, måned, måne, Tajik, mon, mok. Lunar phases and creation. Symmetry. In approximately 29.5 days, the moon cycles through 7 phases and one dark period of about 2 to 3 days. This sequence of lunar phases exhibits an opposite symmetry, which can reflect various universals, such as the pattern of creation. Thus, the waxing and waning crescent moons are associated with the physical light of the first day and the spiritual light of the 7th.
And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, Let there be light, and there was light. Genesis 1:2-3.
And on the 7th day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. Genesis 2:2-3. The first quarter of the moon corresponds to day 2, where God divides the waters and the atmosphere appears. The third quarter reflects day 6, where the opposite environment, the dry land, is filled with life.
And God said, Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. Genesis 1:6-8. And God said, Let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle, and creeping thing, and beast of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And God made the beast of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. Genesis 1:24-27.
The waxing gibbous moon finds its opposite in the waning gibbous moon. These phases correspond to the 3rd and 5th days. On the 3rd day, God divides the waters to reveal dry land, and on the 5th day, he fills with creatures the environment that is the opposite of the earth, air and water.
And God said, Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good. Genesis 1:9-10. And God said, Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And God created great whales, and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly, after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. Genesis 1:20-21.
The full moon corresponds to the 4th creative day, which is in the very middle of the creative week and is associated with complete illumination. It is no coincidence, then, that on this day God created the luminaries destined for our earth.
And God said, Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. Genesis 1:14-18.
Beautiful are the creations of our Father and His Son, despite the darkening power of sin, the 30-day month, and the flood chronology. In Part 2, Chapter 4, we mentioned that the month before the flood was exactly 30 days long. Let us now examine in more detail the reasons for this. The chronology of the flood is symmetrical. Noah waits in the ark for 7 days until the rain begins to fall, Genesis 7:10. It rains for 40 days, Genesis 7:12. The waters rise for 150 days, Genesis 7:24, and fall for another 150 days, Genesis 8:3. Another period of 40 days is mentioned as Noah opens the window of the ark and sends out a raven, Genesis 8:6-7. After 7 days he sends out a dove, which returns because it has nowhere to perch, Genesis 8:8-9. After 7 days he sends out a dove again, this time returning with an olive leaf in its beak, Genesis 8:10-11. And when he sent out the dove a third time, after another 7 days, it did not return, Genesis 8:12. The first 7 days before sending out the dove are only hinted at by the phrase, and he waited yet another 7 days, and sent forth the dove, Genesis 8:10. Thus, in the mirror structure, this week can be assigned to the left side of the equation to give the following: 7, 7, 40, 150, 150, 40, 7, 7. Scholar Warren H. Johns suggests that the weeks in the flood chronology be understood as a reflection of the creative week at the beginning of the book of Genesis. I find this entirely reasonable, not only because the chronological record of the flood is found only a few chapters later in the same book, but also because, due to mankind's wickedness, the flood is the exact opposite of the creation process. Understanding the weeks in this way reveals that the Sabbath day of rest falls on dates that actually correspond to its purpose, and thus confirms the correct ordering of the time periods in the chronology. In the table, we see that each of the 7 events that occurred on the Sabbath is in complete harmony with its design as a day of freedom and rest. This is secondarily confirmed by the chronology itself. The duration of the month as exactly 30 days is confirmed especially by the 2 periods of 150 days when the water rises and falls. These 2 150-day periods fall on the indicated dates only when the month has exactly 30 days. The new heavens and new earth. In the opening text of this chapter, we read that in the new heaven and new earth that God will create, all creatures will come to worship before Him and His Son from new moon to new moon, and from Sabbath to Sabbath. Isaiah 66:23. This also harmonizes with the light in John's revelation regarding the new world, in which there is the tree of life, bearing fruit 12 times every month. Revelation 22:1-2. The new moon will indeed continue to be a factor in the new earth and time in which we receive more of the life-giving spirit of the Son of God. We can imagine the 12 different characters, represented by the apostles of Christ and the sons of Jacob, partaking of the fruits of each month and eagerly awaiting the fruits of the month that corresponds to their character, which in a spiritual sense speaks of a more special encounter with God and His precious Son. In the table we see that each of the 7 events that occurred on the Sabbath is in complete harmony with its design as a day of freedom and rest. This is secondarily confirmed by the chronology itself. The duration of the month as exactly 30 days is confirmed especially by the 2 periods of 150 days when the water rises and falls. These 2 150-day periods fall on the indicated dates only when the month has exactly 30 days.